Lewis Hamilton has long gone through heavy checking out of Ferrari machinery, sooner or later of the beyond couple of days. However, it did now not pass without issues for the seven-time global champion. He crashed on the second one day in Barcelona. And even as it's far genuinely finding out of motors that aren't going to be gift at the grid anymore, it has a deeper, which means behind it with Lir having his day disrupted through this crash. What does it really propose for Ferrari? And is it, honestly by way of a few means accurate facts, that the SF23 have become crashed by Hamilton 1 in every of the maximum updated information subjects within the past couple of days, come to be the crash of Hamilton in Barcelona, and at the same time as many hold in thoughts that it changed into not anything too intense, it is a clean indicator that the seven-time worldwide champion is pushing to truly the extremes of the auto to discover what is incorrect. This is the 2023 model of the auto, and one that wasn't certainly an achievement for the Maranello squad. And Hamilton's intention is loud and easy: discover as a goodbye as you could approximately the failings of this challenger, and ensure that the institution can be implementing the modifications which you asked for the SF25. The crash occurred whilst Hamilton out of place manage of the car, in the morning's part of the trying out, as he hit the obstacles, but happily escaped with none large damage. The trying out in Barcelona is achieved in addition to the 30 exploratory laps that Hamilton did final week in Fano, but with a completely unique machinery, the F175 once more. Then his remarks were very superb, and he said that he is feeling the best he's ever felt in his lifestyles. However, no matter the fact that the organization is now running tough to make sure that the adaptation technique won't be disrupted with the beneficial resource of this crash, VOR isn't always involved approximately the contemporary day situation of Hamilton, and stated that he predicted this shape of problem to arise due to the man or woman of the adaptation approach that is in a bit of a hurry. Even as speaking about it, the Frenchman stated, "I am no longer worried in any respect. Hamilton is coming with enjoy of this. He did nearly 20 seasons in F1, and he will manipulate this era fine L. The drivers have a most limit of 1 of checking out that is probably achieved over a positive term, and after the crash in Barcelona, Ferrari might not seem to be that they packed it all proper, right into a 3-day stint for the seven-time international champion, despite the whole lot were no longer speak me approximately a rookie who wishes to acclimatize himself to an F1 vehicle for the first time, but about a legend who survived many eras. At some point of his career, the weather wasn't a large hassle for the crash that become because of Hamilton. However, regardless of the truth that the seven-time global champion is now looking beforehand to the following stint, which is sorting out the 2024 Challenger in a stint that could have a run plan defined with the useful resource of Pirelli, and after this, Hamilton will eventually get his arms on the 2025 vehicle of Ferrari in Bahrain, first on 19th of February in Fano, after which on the 3-day trying out in Bahrain, which begins off-evolved on 26th of February, the excellent information for Ferrari is that their riding pressure did no longer crash the SF24, which modified into the 2024 Challenger, the most effective that they could want, hundreds transferring in advance, with finding out, because of the reality they will extract as a goodbye information as they're capable of, and put into impact it. At the 2025 car, be that as it could, Hamilton is known to be a riding pressure who typically pushes to the limits, and person who does not, absolutely, located plenty of self-bloating over troubles like this, due to the fact in Supermanner to discover, surely the most of the auto's performance you do of course need to push it. To actually the intense Hamilton himself has been pretty aware that he desires to offer pinnacle-notch feedback to the engineers that permits you to apprehend the conduct of the car, and while he's been receiving a whole lot of hate for what's been going on inside the beyond couple of years, the seven-time global champion stated that he is taking notes of every weekend that he participated in, considering his system, Renault days talking about it. He stated for the cause that device Renault, I take notes every single weekend. Every time I pressure the automobile, I am making notes due to the reality. You are not going to, don't forget it all. There may be too much taking place. Obviously, Hamilton's presence in Ferrari has been blessed to a wonderful amount via the usage of the excessive profile engineers. In Maranello Adami covered, and there's no doubt that there can be lots of superb impacts from his remarks on the car, but there are, despite the fact that some mother and father that would have a bit of a biased opinion concerning Hamilton's pace inside the automobile. And as you can likely remember, Ralf Schumacher is taken into consideration. One of them even as speaking about the adaptation of Hamilton to Ferrari. The brother of the opposite seven-time global champion inside the sports activities, Sports has lengthy passed on to say that nobody can help the Brit because of his age and the manner he isn't always capable of comply with the newly regulated automobiles. Furthermore, Ralph stated Verer might not clearly be capable of help. Hamilton simply as Toto Wolff couldn't. This 12 months, neither of them is liable for the design of the car in cease. Lewis has to conform to the using tendencies of the automobile, and not the alternative manner. Spherical. Nowadays the cars are heavier and sluggish to power. There is a great deal much less mechanical grip. This means that you need to exchange your riding style, especially inside the braking zones. And that is exactly in which Lewis misplaced time to Russell. It changed into particularly obvious. In qualifying that Lewis often no longer knew exactly how to interrupt, that is why he often had issues hitting the apex. He become used to braking relatively overdue, however, that was not possible with the Mercedes. Hamilton is getting adjusted to the car and the reality that he required adjustments to the stressful situations. He is going to pressure for the duration of finding out, similarly to the handiest he'll participate in 2025, together with the cockpit. Within the pedal roll is going to show that he is completely devoted to triumphing the championship inside. The first threat possible of route. It is a great deal less tough for him to get at some degree in the pink line of the most that the car permits because of the fact he isn't acquainted with the bounds of the SF23. Like Lair, however, it's not a few component that must be discouraging Ferrari inside the long term. Pretty the other, in fact reality it should inspire them that Hamilton is asking like his vintage self, and on the equal time as we cannot evaluate the heaviness of this crash, and the most effective Antonelli had in Monza. Sooner or later of FP1 in 2024, riding the W5. They've the same nature, trying to study clearly the limits of the car. It's far a threat that the team knew they have been taking because of the truth. They desired to hurry Hamilton's adaptation method to the absolute maximum. That means that all of the simulator adaptation has, in all likelihood, been skipped, and the method has been added to the direct attempting out of real motors on the tune it changed into, to be anticipated given the truth that Hamilton isn't truly a huge fan of the simulator artwork. And furthermore, he wasn't released earlier from Mercedes to do the take a look at with the SF24 in Abu Dhabi, which may additionally were particularly useful for the seven-time global champion to do nevertheless the crash. Disrupted Lair's checking out. And while the team is not lacking an excessive amount of out in this facts, because of the truth he has been the use of it for one whole 12 months, they do want the whole lot they could get from this version of the auto to be able to discover a hidden jack inside the sleeve for the approaching season. However, the crash isn't always something that needs to be disregarded. And despite the fact that the 2025 Challenger may be a contemporary car with 99% excellent additives, the business enterprise desires to look at what went wrong inside the beyond couple of years, and the way to prevent the same element from occurring on the upcoming car, and Hamilton have to have given a bit more of a unique answer, alongside together with his crash, so changed into obviously a detail that Ferrari may also moreover have, was hoping they may get preserve of from the Brit. While speaking about 2025 and the competitiveness of the auto, The group fundamental of Ferrari said if it is going to be competitive, we're going to find out in Bahrain sometimes you do. Now not apprehend, you are taking risks. Till in a while, the automobile is probably in reality new. I assume we are able to have a great deal tons much less than 1% of the components. In common place with the 2024 vehicle, it's miles of first-rate assignment. However, the equal applies to simply virtually all of us. We cannot say now if 2025 is probably our 365 days. However, I accept as true with the project we're taking walks on. It's going to, though, be an immoderate undertaking, just like the one we really completed. I am very proud of how we tackled problems, but we need to take another step in the route of consistency with all this. In thoughts, do you found that Ferrari are the crew to conquer in 2025? And moreover, do you consider you studied that Hamilton pushing the auto to simply the restriction will offer them masses too?